emergency declared by the governor as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and in accordance with House Rule 67 and the governor's emergency order number 12 pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. This is an executive session on Senate Bill 26. Please note that there is no physical location for members of the public to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting. However, in accordance with the emergency order, I am confirming that all members of the committee and select legislative staff have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through the Zoom electronic meeting platform, and that the public has access to contemporaneously listen and, if necessary, participate in this meeting by the Zoom platform or by telephone. All necessary access information has been made available in the House calendar and through the electronic calendar on the General Court website. The notice for this meeting complies with House rules and RSA 91-A. Anyone who has a problem accessing the meeting should call 271-3600 or email hcs@leg.state.nh.us. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled. I want to introduce the staff that are on the meeting assisting us. Brad Greenland, our committee researcher. Please note that all votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. Let us start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance. When a member states they're present, please also state whether there is anyone in the room with you during the meeting, which is required under the right to know law. Mr. Clerk, if you call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Abbott.
Here in the committee room.
Representative Vlasic. Representative
Here.
Great. Representative Boards.
Present at home with my dog, no one else.
Representative Bunker.
Present at home alone.
Representative Cloutier.
Present in the committee room.
Representative Grassi.
I'm present at home alone.
Representative Ebel.
Home alone in New London.
Representative Edgar.
Present, home alone here in Hampton.
Representative Faulkner.
Home alone in Swansea. My wife may return shortly.
Representative Fadolfi.
I'm home in Hillsborough. My wife is in the house somewhere.
Chairman Graham.
Present in the committee room.
Representative Jack.
I'm here in the committee room.
Representative Kaczynski. Representative Kaczynski.
Representative Kaczynski is having technical difficulties, and I understand he's on his way over to my house now. So he'll be joining me when he gets here.
Okay, thank you. Representative Kolansky. Representative Kolansky. Representative McConkey.
Good morning, Mark McConkey in Freedom Home Office. My son is here in the office, Jake also.
Representative Mills is here and taking attendance. Representative Newman.
Yes, present at home in Nashua in the room alone.
Representative Newton.
Yeah, here in Rochester by myself again, soon to be joined by Representative Kaczynski, I believe.
Thank you, Representative. Please have him chime in when he gets here so I can update this.
Yeah, will do, yeah.
Representative Peterson.
Present at home in Nashua alone.
Representative Query.
Present at home in Manchester. My grandparents are downstairs.
Representative Samaro.
I am present. I am here alone. Florida.
Representative Thompson,
Present in the committee room.
Representative Vandecastile, I'm sorry, that's
Hear me?
Representative.
Can
Representative
you hear me?
Boyd.
We heard you, Paul.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Representative Boyd.
Hi, this is Bill Boyd. I'm in my home office in Merrimack, New Hampshire. My daughter and my 2 dogs are somewhere else in the house.
Thank you very much. Do we have Mr. Representative Kaczynski yet? No, we don't. Okay. Away we go.
All right, couple of administrative things before we get started on the actual executive session. Hopefully everybody has read the calendar on when the House will be meeting and where. We'll be meeting the 3rd and 4th of June to go over all Senate bills. We will be meeting on the 10th of June and also in Bedford to go over Senate messages on House bills of what they have amended or not. And then on the 24th, after committees of conference, we'll be voting on committee of conference reports. Remember that on both the 10th and the 24th, it's a yay or nay vote. We do not offer amendments at that point. I just wanted to bring that up. As far as executive sessions go, it is for the committee. Those of you who are attending virtually, if you raise your hand, I'm not going to recognize you. We had the public hearing 2 weeks ago, and we have also heard from numerous other people who have sent emails to various members of the committee. So this is a time for the committee to work and decide what we are going to do with Senate Bill 26. That being said, I will open the executive session on Senate Bill 26 and recognize Representative Boyd.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would move that the committee retain Senate Bill 26.
I would second that.
It has been moved and seconded by Representative Boyd and Representative Thompson that the committee retain Senate Bill 26. Retention, as everybody remembers, means that we have to do work over the summer and fall, and the House will vote on our recommendation that comes out of that work the first week or two in January. The floor is now open to discussion on the motion. If you want to speak, please raise your hand. Representative McConkey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm in support of the motion as presently offered. In my 15 years of committee work, I have never been through such a hearing as we had. At one point, I thought I understood the process or what the issue was, and then to find an entirely different side to that. I have since that hearing seen many emails and people have called for conversations. I'm of the opinion that if we are to retain this with the energy that's out there, that I believe this could come to a resolution without us having to take action. But I vow if that is not the case and it does not happen before we bring this up, then I certainly will be in favor of a different motion. So I'm in favor of what is being brought forward. I will vote in support of that, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Fidolfi. Unmute, please. Can we unmute people?
No, we can ask them to unmute.
Yeah.
Jim.
Representative Fidolfi, unmute yourself.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, now you're good.
I am totally against this. I am for the Senate bill. I definitely want to end this. I think the state should never be in a position where they're telling a town how to spend their tax dollars, period. I don't think there's any, that's the way I'm going to vote.
Thank you.
just think it's wrong. And I will be voting against retaining. Thank you.
Anybody else? Has Representative Kaczynski made it to your house yet, Clifford?
No, I'm still waiting for him. As soon as if he shows up, I'll get him right on so
Okay.
he can verify he's here.
Representative Cloutier.
Okay, thank you. Maybe this is a question more to the chair, not necessarily the supporters of the retention motion. If this committee votes to retain this bill, what do you foresee as a process for going through retention? Have you got some ideas yet?
As I've said at other forums, my intention on this would be to have a subcommittee of 6, 3 Republicans, 3 Democrats. If I don't get volunteers, there's always the draft to work on this through. We can actually start in June and part of July, August, the speaker usually says no work. But by mid-September, 3rd, 4th week in September, I would expect a report from that subcommittee so that the entire committee could meet and discuss this in October, because we have to report out at the end of October, roughly, to the entire House for a vote in January. That would be my intention, and I'm sure that I would get people to volunteer for that little bit of additional work. It may come back with not a great recommendation or no recommendation, but I think that we need to do it that way. Representative Newton.
Yes, I'm going to vote against the motion that's brought forward. I don't think we should kick the can down the road here. It was a 20-3 vote out of the Senate. I think this bill is necessary, and I think the sooner that we get it and pass it on to the governor, the better.
Thank you. This is, just so everybody knows, this is not a partisan issue. There are members of the committee on both sides of the issue in both parties. I fully respect how people are going to vote. Representative Blasey.
Yes, I just want to say I agree with Representative Newton. I don't see how this gets better by, kind of waiting it out. So I will also be voting against the motion for that reason.
Thank you. Representative Abbott.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't think there's anything to gain by retaining this bill. I think, first of all, many feel the same way. The state should have never gotten involved. Always said in this issue, I think that it's something the town of Haverhill, voters of the town of Haverhill need to decide. I think of the other thing is that I know of nowhere else in New Hampshire where there were similar funding and formula issues involved. I think that in my world, I only know the village of Ashwellet in the town of Winchester and the village of Spofford in the town of Chesterfield. And I represent Chesterfield, Hinsdale, Walpole, Westmoreland, along with Representative Weber, Representative Burge, and Representative Harvey. It would be similar because the disproportionate number of the amount of property tax raised in Chesterfield comes largely from those homes that have frontage on Spofford Lake. It would be as if folks in Spofford came to me and asked for legislation where they would get a portion of the property tax that they garnered from those homes. I certainly would not sponsor such legislation. I don't think it's our business, and I think that the other part of this bill, which makes the only place where the state should be involved in these matters, is with the Department of Revenue Administration in the audits which they have conducted and which I don't show necessarily malfeasance, on the Woodsville Fire District, but certainly improper. I'm not an attorney, I'm not a certified public accountant, but I don't, I think that portion of the bill as well as the other one, we're letting the voters of the town of Mayville make the decision. I don't think also it's been put forward that the court case involved in this, well, they've already, even if they suggest mediation, that has not been successful in the past. And I think that what should happen again is that this bill ought to pass and move us from the situation. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Evil, you had your hand up.
If you don't mind, I'd like to defer until I hear what Representative Faulkner shares as far as his views on the subject. Thank you.
He raised it after you. Representative Faulkner.
Unmute. Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I may find myself in a mistake minority, but I looked at this quite carefully. I think this has been mischaracterized as money being raised by the rest of the town going to the village of Woodsville. If you look carefully where the money comes from, where it goes, the money that's raised in Woodsville goes to Woodsville, raised for highway purposes, goes to Woodsville, and the money raised elsewhere goes to the town's highway department. The bill is, as it stands now, the statute as it now stands, basically is an endorsement of an agreement that came to us, was it 11 years ago? Because the formula for dividing up this money has been changed slightly over that time, but essentially we're not dictating a formula where you are, including in the statute, the formula that was brought to us by an agreement between the parties. And this is the way it's got to happen for all these village districts. I mean, that the state does tell them how to raise their money. As a practical matter, maybe other ways to do this. I would be happy to see a different agreement come out, but I don't think that we can impose one party's view of the agreement on the two parties without having them go through a process of mediation and an open and fair negotiation. We're just basically picking one party versus the other. And I don't think that we have the information to indicate that that's the right way to go. So I'd certainly be in favor of retaining. If this retention vote doesn't succeed, I'm going to vote against the bill as a whole.
Thank you. Now, Representative Evil.
Thank you. Anyway. So like all of us, I've looked at this quite a bit. In particular, I looked at the legislative history going back to, pre-dawn age, and I also looked at the litigation summaries. I looked at the previous iteration of this bill, which was included in HB 1234 that was vetoed by the governor. It was introduced in the same way by Senator Gaida. I would not have supported that version, and that was combining by statute Woodsville and Haverhill, and I don't think that that's the right approach. I realize that it's historical that we've been as much involved in what is going on up there as we have been. And I think in 1990, we were trying to help. In 2009, with the current formulation that's in the statute, we were trying to help. The next time, if they come up with another formulation, if we put it in the statute, we'd be trying to help, and then they'd be back to us perhaps at another time. And I really think that they should be negotiating out themselves what their deals are over time as property values change, as relationships change. I don't see how that is helped by retaining the bill. I mean, I realize that they're in litigation. The litigation is actually analyzing how the parties have related under the current statute. If the parties negotiate another formulation, I couldn't, in good faith, support including that formulation in the statute because it could change again and then they're bound by it. If we pass this, and I will say I'm in favor of passage, it has to go through the process. It'll go to the governor. The governor probably won't deal with it until maybe July or later. The litigation will proceed. I don't see that we're helping one side or the other by not passing this at this point because it's just a matter of local control. And I think that's just where it should be. I don't see the state's interest in being in the middle of this. These two parties don't need a parent straightening things out for them. They should be dealing with it on their own and just be subject to the other laws that apply to village districts, which I know very little bit about, but that's where, so I'll be voting against the motion to retain. Thanks.
Representative Jack.
Oh, that was,
I thought you.
that was
Representative
Representative
Mills
Fidel-
then.
Representative Fidolfi had his hand up.
I'm against the motion to retain. I agree with everybody. This does nothing to fix this problem. And this problem does need to be fixed. No matter what the formula happens to be in any kind of agreement that they work out, they should work that formula out and it should not be in a state statute. It should be liquid enough that they can change it as necessary as property taxes and as situations change there. Retaining this as far as waiting for the court case will more than likely go into mediation, but the mediation is, and the court case is only about dollars that are currently owed, interpreting the statute the way it is right now. It does nothing to fix this problem. So once again, I am against the retaining motion. And I have a little experience in these matters.
Thank you. Nice. Anybody else? I see no other hands raised. Are we ready to go to the vote on the motion to retain? We are. The clerk will call the roll on the motion to retain Senate Bill 26.
Representative McConkey.
Aye.
The clerk votes no. Representative Samaro.
I vote no on retaining it. No.
Representative Fidolfi.
No.
Representative Newton.
No.
Representative Blasek.
No.
Representative Boards.
No.
Is Representative Kaczynski here yet?
No, he isn't.
Thank you. Representative Thompson.
Yes.
Representative Boyd.
Boyd votes no. Excuse me, Boyd votes yes to retain. I'm sorry, yes. I was carried away there. I apologize.
Representative Cloutier.
Yes.
Representative Edgar.
No.
Representative Ebel.
No.
Representative Jack.
No.
Representative Abbott.
No.
Representative Faulkner.
Yes.
Representative Newman.
Yep.
Representative Newman.
So,
No.
Representative Grassi.
No.
Representative Peterson.
No.
Representative Query.
No.
Representative Bunker.
No.
Chairman Graham,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, the motion to retain the bill fails with a vote of 15 against 6-4.
Thank you. The motion fails. We still have another motion. I recognize Representative Mills for a motion.
I make the motion that this bill ought to pass as amended.
Second.
Wait a minute, we didn't make an amendment. to the bill's amendment. This is just.
No, it was amended by the Senate. It's
Ought to
just-
pass.
Second.
Representative Mills moves ought to pass on Senate Bill 26. It has been seconded by Representative Abbott. Is there any further discussion on the bill? Representative Edgar? Oh. Seeing none, clerk will call the roll on ought to pass on Senate Bill 26.
Representative McConkey,
Aye.
clerk votes yes. Representative Samaro,
Samaro votes yes.
Representative Fadolfi,
Yes.
Representative Newton,
Yes.
Representative Blaysick,
Yes.
Representative Boards,
Yes.
Representative Thompson,
No.
Representative Boyd,
Boyd votes aye.
Representative Cloutier,
Yes.
Representative Edgar,
Aye.
Representative Evil,
Yes.
Representative Jack,
Yes.
Representative Abbott,
Yes.
Representative Faulkner,
No.
Representative Newman,
yes,
Representative Grassi,
Yes.
Representative Peterson,
Yes.
Representative Query,
Yes.
Representative Bunker,
Yes.
Chairman Graham.
No.
The motion ought to passes with a vote of 18-3.
Of those who voted no, is there any objection to the consent calendar?
Is there still a rule about no more than 2 no votes?
That was always unofficial. There is no money involved. It can go on to the consent calendar. It's unusual, but the speaker has strongly suggested we put as many as possible onto the consent calendar. But that having been said, I am going to put it on the regular calendar as I think about it. I am sure that Representative Flad, who testified against the bill, will want to speak about it. And so I'll just put it in its regular place in the calendar rather than at the end of the calendar as it gets pulled off of consent. So we'll be on the regular calendar as I think this through. This has been one of the harder, as Representative McConkey said, one of the harder bills that we have had in this committee, not within the House. And I want to thank everybody for their diligence and looking at all of the information that was sent to us, listening to the 2 hours of sometimes acrimonious testimony. And I think that the majority of the committee believes that we are doing the right thing. And that is why we are here to make recommendations to the House. That said, we have no other bills to come before us or executive sessions for this year of the biennium. We will probably have a committee of conference on Senate Bill 25, the capital budget, because I having listened to all of the agency presentations and the Senate questions and comments, I think that there will be changes to what we sent to them. How extensive they are, I do not know. But I will keep members of the committee informed on what those are. I want to thank Representative Grassi. You might as well be a member of the committee. You made every hearing and every executive session.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it very much.
That said, anybody else have any comments? I told you about the upcoming sessions, and those are important. So please attend, and hopefully we can get to see each other in person on one of those 4 days.
I did have a question,
Flutie.
Mr. Chairman. How did the hearing on the capital budget go yesterday?
The hearing, the public hearing on House Bill 25 was held at 10 a.m. yesterday. It was after, as we did, it was after all of the agency presentations. There was one speaker in favor, and that was me, because I introduced the bill. There was nobody else who spoke. And as you can imagine, because we heard some of the same pleas from agencies asked for additional money, which they are now weighing as they go forward into their work sessions and executive sessions. My understanding, if you look at the Senate calendar, there will probably be a Senate meeting on the capital budget, their capital budget committee next Tuesday, which you can Zoom in and listen to if you so desire. Any other comments or questions? And I thank all of the committee for this year's work that we have had on the bills. We haven't had a lot of bills, but it's been trickier trying to do it in this hybrid fashion because we missed the camaraderie around the tables of talking to each other and probably asking more questions of people who are presenting. But thank you all. And
just one final question.
Sure.
On the capital budget, if we decide to form a committee of conference to vote, you'll obviously consult the committee before the June 10th session. Is that correct?
Committees of conference concurs, non-concurs, request committees of conference votes will all be taken on the 10th of June.
Okay. I
will
make sure.
Let the committee know what my thoughts are on committee of conference once I find out what the Senate has done. As former chairs who are sitting around here know, it is my decision whether or not to recommend to the House what to do. But if 22 of the committee don't want to go that route, I'd be kind of silly to do that. Representative Edgar.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to thank you for the way you've conducted the committee in the way that you have this year. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yay.
I try. It's 20 years experience, that's all. They finally let me have the gavel. Anyone else? If not, the committee will stand adjourned to the call of the chair or call of a conference committee if we need to do that. I thank you all for showing up. Representative Newton, when Representative Kaczynski shows up, tell him we're sorry.
We missed him.
And I know where he was coming down. So thank you all. We can close this out. Representative Jack Brown.